Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So here we have a 2020 Hyundai Tucson. You can see we have the oxidation and scratching coming over here on the top. Very common just because this is flat, so the sun will hit this pretty good. This side just as bad. You can see it's just starting on the top. So for this situation, you got to make sure that you remove all of the clear coat. You can't just remove up here on the top. Now I have had cases where I can do a fade method. It's basically where you just remove the damaged clear coat and then you sand very fine just along the lines between the raw headlight and the old clear coat. In that particular case, I'm not going to do it this time just because I want to make sure that we get a really thorough restoration. So make sure this one's done right. But yeah, this is a 2020 4-year. It's only 4 years old. Not out of the ordinary to see the clear coat starting to give way. One really cool thing that I can explain here is that how different manufacturers' clear coat deteriorates. So for this one, you could see how it's kind of more scratchy rather than just like turning yellow or something like that. Very similar to the Honda Pilot. It deteriorates in like scratches. So for this one, we're going to start with 320. It's going to remove everything fairly quickly. Hope you all are pleased to know that I survived the hurricane. Obviously, I'm here in Florida. I'm on the East Coast, so we didn't get anything nearly as bad as what they got on the West Coast, but still got a lot of rain, a lot of wind. But we just got a lot of other stuff brewing off the coast. So by sanding, I can feel the condition of this old clear coat. Again, this is something, another benefit of hand sanding. I can feel how deteriorated the old clear coat is on the bottom. So what tells me is how easy it glides across. So you can see I'm sanding, and you can see there's scratches. So if the clear coat's in very good condition, you won't see very many scratches off the first stripe or swipe. Usually it's going to be like very easy to glide across. That means the clear coat's going to be sealed. It's going to be good to go. But since this, I can sand it and it's already coming off, that tells me it's in pretty rough condition. So that's the difference whenever I say intact clear coat is a pain to remove. It's whenever it just glides across. The sandpaper doesn't do anything to it off the first swipe, so you have to kind of work into it. So yeah, the hurricane messed up a lot of people on the West Coast. We're pretty used to like the hurricanes on my side. I've lived in Florida pretty much all my life and never been really scared of a hurricane. Granted, we haven't had a bad one in a long time, knock on wood, but they definitely got jacked up over there on the West Coast. Alright, so you can see right here, I'm at the raw headlight already. So that top layer is very easy to remove. So, common misconception is a lot of customers will say, oh, it's only a little hazy on the top, so it should be very easy. Well, the easier headlights are the ones that are completely oxidized. They're all yellow, the clear coat's gone. Those are the ones I like. This common misconception is that they say, oh, it's just a little bit hazy on the top, so it should be easy. That's the opposite. It's actually harder. And when customers remove their headlights for you. Like, hey, remove the headlight so it should be a lot easier for you. No, that's a lot harder, much harder to do a headlight that's off the car. Because there's no counter force when you're sanding. So you have to put it in a box or something. You have to have some sort of counter force on it whenever sanding. So the customer says, hey, I removed them for you. You could potentially be like, well, I want to charge you extra for it because it's much harder. And in some cases, you can't even do it. Like, imagine Silverado headlights off of the car. Those would be such a pain to do. Like, oh my gosh, I would charge like $250 to do those. And if they say no, thank God. If they say yes, you're really trying to outbid the customer. It's like, hey, this is a huge pain, so I have to make it worth it for me to do this. But yeah, this one's working with me pretty good. Let's do a quick review of it. It's always good to track your progress to see how well you're doing. So this over here is the raw headlight. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see raw headlight right here, old clear coat right here. You got to make sure all that's gone. Otherwise, when you spray it or you restore it, it's going to still be pretty visible. This one we'll do the standard 320 first, remove all the clear coat and stuff, and then finish with the fly. We'll get out of here, or finish with the 400, 600. Sorry, I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes. So 400, 600. As you can see, we got old girl back. Finally got her fixed. She was giving me a bunch of trouble. Got the AC fixed on it too. So, back in action. I had somebody ask me about doing a fleet car. Is that something that I want to do? And if it's something they should do, I say yes, 100%. If you can afford to get a fleet car and have it wrapped, definitely do it. I have been slacking on getting one. I could get one, but it's kind of like, you know, weighing out the pros and cons. Do I want to take on a payment? Do I want to buy it outright? Do I need it? Because in business, you got to ask, do you want it or do you need it? And in this business, you could literally do everything. Just wear a backpack and even ride a bike to the customer. You don't need a lot of stuff. So it's like, do I need a huge van? One of the biggest pros to getting a van is your advertising. Having it wrapped, like, that's huge. Like, when better to advertise to somebody about headlight restoration than when you're driving, when you're in traffic. So, pros and cons, pros and cons. So almost completely removed, or the clear coat's almost completely removed. hope it doesn't rain. I don't think it's gonna rain, but the customer's got a garage, thankfully, so. Worst case scenario, we'll move it in there. Alright. Yeah, business has been good. We had to reschedule a lot of customers this last few weeks just because, as I said, that hurricane came in and we got a lot of the outer bands, a lot of rain. And I can't stress enough to you guys to make sure you watch the weather if you're getting into the business. There we go. All right, we're ready for the 4. Just do a quick inspection. So I say always inspect your work. And if you're not sure, I'll show you how to check it, and I'll show you how to check your work, make sure that you are removing all of the said clear coat. So you'll grab a lint-free towel here, fold it up, and just do a quick inspection on it. Now granted, there's going to be dark spots from the sandpaper, just the markings, but so I can see a little bit right here, a little bit right here, a little bit right there. So that's how you do your inspection, checking for any discolor, like hard discoloration. That's the old clear coat. So now we're starting with the 400, going to remove all of the deep scratches you made with 320. I want to make sure all that's removed. Now granted, the clear coat does have filling properties in it, so any deeper scratches will be filled, but we're aiming for clarity here. And make sure it's prepped right. As I said, it's 90% prep, 10% spring, so especially with any method that you're doing restoration on. The water's starting to repel, so that's a good sign. It's getting nice and smooth. And then when I'm sanding, I'm putting my finger right here in between. It's like 50-50, half on my sandpaper, half on the body, so that I don't not scratch it. I mean, granted I have tape on there, but I can feel if I'm going over it. Alright, so we're going to move on to the 6. Take a coffee swig. So this customer is also about 45 minutes from my house or the area we operate. Same situation. You know, I told them how much I'd charge to travel all the way out here. You know, I didn't think they were going to bite, but they did. He said it was because of our reviews. He said he called another guy in the area. The other guy told him he wasn't sure he can do it. Can't guarantee it. Did some more research and found us. And that proves the point of having your reviews in place. I cannot stress it enough to have your reviews or a review system in place, because for starters, you know, again, a lot of people don't know that this is even a service. They don't know headlight restoration can be done as a service. So already off the bat, they're like, oh, I didn't know. So they'd actually come out and do it. So something you don't really know of, you're going to have your, you know, you're going to be a little skeptical about it. So having real reviews, not fake ones, puts their mind at ease. Think, okay, this company is legit. Alright, so pretty good on the 6. I can feel it, I can see it. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the tape. Again, whenever you're wet sanding, because I get a lot of crap about using blue tape. People like, oh, it's too harsh on the vehicle. Well, if you're wet sanding, kind of soften the tape so the adhesion isn't nearly as bad. So I don't have too many worries. And I've said it in the past, it doesn't matter what tape you're using. If the paint job on the car is bad, you're going to pull up tape. You're going to pull up paint and clear coat. So it's important to make sure you inspect it first. Get this nice and clean. Ooh. No. So you can see it's a little bit gloomy out. So I'm debating if I want to finish this side out, meaning prep it, alcohol wipe it, get it ready for the spray and then spray it, or prep it, get it ready for spray and then do the opposite side. So I'm just gonna do a quick dry on it. Whew. now this is 91% alcohol. Just gonna get that a little bit damp. I'm gonna spray any trapped water out. So the reason you alcohol wipe is you want to remove any oils, any leftover residue from sanding. You want to remove all of that. I see some people, whenever they're doing their cleaning process, they'll put some sort of glass cleaner or some Dawn dish soap or something. Don't do that, because that's going to leave some sort of residue behind. So if you're doing your restoration process, that stuff, whatever solution you're using, whether it be like McGuire's or a ceramic coat or the next gen spray, you don't want anything touching the headlight aside from that. You don't want anything in between. You don't want any dirt, any grime, any oils, any other residue on it. You want it just a raw headlight, because if you don't, it can result in flaking of the finished product. It can result in the longevity. It jeopardizes the longevity of the protective coating that you put on. And there's the wind, right on cue. So don't use any other solution other than rubbing alcohol. You want to make sure that this thing is as clean as it can possibly be before you restore it. So, ooh, that's crispy right there. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna spray it immediately. What time is it? 9:04. Still a little bit humid out, so it's not gonna hurt anything if I hold off for a second. That's not gonna stick. So I haven't asked you guys in a while if there's any kind of content you want to see me do. I can try my absolute best to do it. There we go. And the spot we missed right here. Because again, I mean, I get a lot of questions via email and stuff, but ultimately, I want to make sure that I make getting into the business as easy as possible, because it kind of surprises me how people don't take this kind of business seriously, because I mean, I can understand if you don't want to take it seriously since you haven't researched on it. And as I said, there's not really a guide or anything like that online aside from what I'm doing, so it's hard for people to get kind of an idea of how much you can make, you know, steps into the business. So we'll let that sit, just let it clear up a little bit more. Not clear up, but mainly for the humidity. But any questions you have about the business, by all means, leave it in the comment section. and I will more than likely answer it in the following video. Alright, same thing. You can see all that yellowiness. That's the oxidation. And we are using a 320. So, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and spray it, because hopefully it'll flash off before this one's done. Alright, you can see it's nice and milky. There's no dark spots or anything on it. These little lines, those are from the sandpaper itself, so yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So I was shaking the can during the whole ride here. This is what we're using. No matter how many times I say it or put it in the description, somebody always asks what I sprayed on it. So you can see it's kind of on the top. You've got like a top area here, and then you got kind of divots down. So when you're spraying it, you want to make sure that you go with the contour of the lens. So you don't want to spray like this. You want to spray like this. Make sure it all gets an even coating. Just gonna put one thick coat. 50% overlay. And just as expected, got a bunch of flash off, so just gonna let that sit. And by the time we're done with that one, this will be good to go. So yeah, if you are starting, a good goal to set would be, and depends on how, if I'm assuming you'd be doing it on the weekends to start, I would start with at least 5 a day on Saturdays. Super, it's a pretty easy goal to set. So whenever you're doing your advertising and everything, you accumulate over the week customers, and you book them all for Saturdays. So if you're still new, it might take you a little bit longer, but once you get the hang of everything, you should be able to go out and do 5 vehicles and be done by 12 o'clock. And if you do that, depending on the price, again, we charge $90. I know a few videos ago I said I'd recommend starting at $100. I'm going to redact that. You could start lower if you're not experienced, if you're still learning, but eventually you want to get up to at least $100 or $90, one or the other. We've kept the $90 program, or the $90 price, because there's a lot of vehicles that fall under that bracket, like a Honda Civic, a Nissan Frontier, something super easy. But for the more difficult ones, 150, 180, just depends on the vehicle. I did a Silverado not that long ago, actually last weekend, and these were really bad. I'll actually put some pictures up, and I charged him $200 just because it was just terrible. So you can see it's glassing over. Charged him $200 because, again, there's a part of me that hopes that they don't go with it, and if they do, at least it's worth it for me. So make it worth it. Because, man, I've been doing this a long time, hand sanding, and someone actually commented, I think it was Tom, but sand on my hand. It's like a Hulk arm. Yeah, that's still a choice if you want to do it, hand sand the whole time. Now, it's situational. There's vehicles that you want to do hand sanding on because they're dumb easy, and there's vehicles that you want to use a power tool on. Now, I use that lightly. I say that lightly because it's only for certain cases like severe micro cracking, super intact clear coat, that I would recommend using power tools on. Or like the F450s with the huge lights, F150s, the clear coat on those are typically pretty bad or hard to remove. But again, it's really up to you. I like hand sanding because, again, I can feel the headlight. I can feel where it needs more love. I can track my progress easier. It's not for everybody, but it's just my way of doing things. Keeps me in shape. So I'm spraying and I'm seeing. So here's a prime example. Again, I don't know how much you can see on the camera, but you have raw headlight right here. I'm down to the raw headlight, but there's old clear coat right here. So again, I'll try to change the angle so you can kind of see. So you can see it's more clear right here, a little bit milky right here. So I'll spray, spot sand, spray, just keep spot sanding. You can see how it's coming off as I'm sanding it. So you can see it's all gone. I don't need to sand anymore. I don't need to take any more of the headlight off. It's down to the raw headlight. When you're dry sanding or you're using a power tool, you can't really see that. So at this point, you'd still be sanding. Now, obviously, you know, again, the average headlight is about 6 millimeters. The lens is about 6 millimeters. But you don't want to remove more than what you have to. For starters, you're jeopardizing the integrity of the lens, how sturdy it is, and you're also spending more time on it. You only want to remove what you need to, and that clear coat layer is very, very thin. The clear coat isn't what you're so much worried about. It's really the oxidation. Oxidation can penetrate much deeper into the lens. Yeah, there we go. Oxidation just penetrates deeper and deeper and deeper. That's why if you neglect it for a long time, it turns into what I call severe oxidation. That's the hard stuff. Now this side's in a little bit better condition than that side, which is not out of the ordinary. I've had this situation happen before. Just got to give it a little bit more love. But the white residue that's coming off is usually the headlight itself. So when you're past the yellow, removed all the oxidation, once it starts turning white, so you know you're getting in the clear. But yeah, back to what I was saying about the business. You think if I were to say, if I'm working a 9 to 5 and I say, hey, I want to go out and start my own business, you know, what do you typically think of? Tell you one thing you don't think of is headlight restoration. Kind of hides in plain sight, as I like to say. And the best part about this job is it doesn't cost $10,000 to start. It doesn't cost $20,000. I don't need a $20,000 mower or trailer or truck or any of this crazy stuff, you could literally start this with a bicycle and a backpack. Put all your stuff in the backpack, drive around, bicycle around. Like, I'm just speaking in the most basic needs. That backpack might be a little heavy, depending on the method that you're doing. If you're needing power tools or different grits of sandpaper, but you guys get my point. You guys are dumb. I don't need to explain it to that definition. And then you factor in your expenses, fuel, like what I did when I first started. I was telling myself, okay, add up all my bills. So this is like the reverse engineering method. So you add up all your bills, find out what your monthly expenses are, add maybe $500 to that extra, just to be safe, and then say, okay, this is what I need to make to be out on my own. I need to make $2,000 a month. And you ask yourself, how many headlights do I need to restore to be at that? Okay, I need to do 20, 30, whatever it is. And you just start from there. I need to do 30 headlights a month. And then you say, how am I going to get these 30 customers? Am I going to put it, post in some Facebook groups? Am I going to go door to door? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? And then once you're at a point where you have enough reviews, you're online, it's easy for people to find you, you won't have to do the door to door and the online stuff. It's like autopilot. Because you think, if you do one restoration, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. If you do one restoration, how did you generate that customer? Was it word of mouth? Was it Facebook? And eventually, as I said, you'll get to a point where it's on autopilot. Alright, we'll move to the 400 now, so we're good. So think of it like this. If I do enough people in one area and someone mentions headlight restoration, or let's say you do customer one and customer one has their headlights restored and it came out great, customer service was perfect. If they see a family member or a friend that has hazy headlights, they're going to say, hey, I know a guy that can come out and do that and fix that. And it's just like a snowball effect. So now we're on the 400. And then if you're doing it for multiple years, that's how it is. I got one guy, a doctor, that I did a restoration for a long time ago. And he gifts headlight restoration services at least once a month to his customers, to his friends, family, whatever. He'll just call me and say, hey Brad, I got another one for you. And I was like, alright, where am I going? He'll tell me and I'll say I'll be there on this date and time. And then I'll just send him the bill and that's it. So it's kind of funny how that works, because as I said, this is like a very simple way to make the car look 10 times better, and a very simple way to make it safer to drive at night, and it's cheap. You're not spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to make your headlights look clean. So there we go. So water's starting to repel. Just gonna keep sweeping it a little bit more. Yeah, I pray that you guys get one of those customers like that, where they're just obsessed with it. And they're like, hey, go here, hey, go there, do this vehicle, do that vehicle. And you just have him or have that customer get you a review from the employee or whoever it is that they're doing it for. But yeah, if you need a sign to get into this business, guys, this is your sign. Like, get into it. It's rewarding. I can't stress it enough. You know, getting the volume is going to take some time. And that's why I said that longevity status. When you've been around for so long, doing it for so long, it runs on itself, you know? So we're finishing with the 600. You know what? It just dawned on me. I didn't take my before videos. I took my before pictures. I didn't take my before videos. It'll be okay. I always like to give you guys a before and after video so you can see the difference. But you kind of sort of saw it. We're entering our busiest season. October is always, I don't know what it is about October, but it's always our busiest month. So getting ready, getting geared up for that. Shouldn't have to tell you this, but always clean customer's vehicle when you're done with it. Again, I shouldn't have to tell you this. Shouldn't have to tell you that. That's basic customer service 101. You want this thing in better condition than when you left. So why are you gonna leave crap all over it? Gonna blast the air out, or the water out. Alright, I love these towels. So easy. Super, super easy. Alright, so now we're gonna dry it. Just get any excessive amounts of water on there. Sorry, I did it in reverse. We're gonna dry it, and then we're gonna alcohol wipe it. You can see that side glassed up nice. As I said, a little bit of humidity, but nothing time can't evaporate. So now we're going to carefully reuse this, because I've said it in the past, the paper isn't expensive itself, but when you're doing a lot of jobs and you run through it pretty quickly, it's better to just reuse. What's that term they used in middle school or elementary? Reduce, reuse, recycle. No. And just feed it right along that line. So you can see one tiny little spot right here that I kind of missed. I'll show you what I'm going to do about that. Slide it in between. Always try to slide it in between if you have the chance to, if there's enough room between the panels. Just for extra coverage. I don't know how that worked, but whatever. Alright, so show you to fix that. Just gonna grab some 600 and an alcohol covered wipe. This, the blower. And we're just gonna spot sand it a little bit. There we go. All set. Now we'll get a little bit more. Yeah, we're good. It doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't. Told them 30 minutes, but I think it's been longer than 30 minutes. I've been rambling. Alright, so good to go to spray. Same thing. Yes, I know, I need a mask. Between the transition of moving all my crap from this car to the other car, I don't know where the heck it went. I'm gonna get the 3M half mask. And just hold on to one of those for a bit. Clean this off. Clean as possible. I always tell the customer, hey, I clean it to the best of my abilities. If there's a little bit, don't sketch out or anything. Because remember, they don't know what that is, the white stuff. They think it might be a chemical or something. So make sure that you always tell them, hey, like, this is nothing, don't sketch out about it. So I spray this because I get a lot of that residue from the tape on my hands. So I just spray some rubbing alcohol and it comes right off. So make sure that you tell them this is all, it's all gonna come off, that's no issue. Dang. Got scared there, I thought that was a giant mosquito on me. Alright, so you can see the flash off is drying. Got a little bit of residue over here. Alright. We are all set. Time for a beer. No, I'm just kidding. It's only 9:30. So, alright guys, just do a quick review. Get out of there, fly. So we're good to go. All that's gone. All the scratches, all the oxidation. It's still drying. Flash off is going away by the second. So we're gonna close this very, very gently. Alright. Thanks for watching. Bye.